Ian Happ had another Ian Happ year, but could he be on his way out?
Go Cubs.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. A lot of news and notes to wrap up later in the show. And we start with Ian Happ, who in 150 games in 2025 slashed 243, 342, 420 with 23 home runs, 32 doubles, and an OPS of 762. Later in the show, we'll also talk about if this 25 campaign could be his last in a Cubs uniform. Sam, a lot of ways we can start here. This has been the longest tenured Cub, at least at the major league level, Justin Steele in the organization. And Happ is, I believe, I heard the other day, the longest
tenured
running
player.
Chicago athlete as well.
Yeah.
I have some stretches here. I'll reveal later. He's been an up and down player throughout his career, but eventually he did get to his overall numbers in totality, as Jed Hoyer might say.
The case for Ian Happ season is that he hit into a lot of bad luck. His final numbers of 243, 342, 420, as you mentioned, when you go to the expected stuff, which, I'm not a huge fan of doing, but I'll do it for this case. His expected batting average was 267. So that's 24 points higher than what it was. His expected slug was 472. That's about 52 points higher than what it was. So when you dive into that stuff, it does feel like he was a victim of the Wrigley Field situation and other things across the board. And I mean, with Happ, I feel like a broken record. But it just feels like his path to his success is too up and down. He is what you would call consistently inconsistent. And it just you just need to shrink the valleys, if you will. And I just think based on where this team is at with the way that they hit, I just think his style, it's a little redundant, I mean, how many guys do you feel really good about just putting the bat on play in a big spot? And he's not one of them. And I think that's where the frustration comes with him, which isn't typically his fault or his fault at all. It's just based on how the lineup is and how it's constructed. But I think Happ had a nice year. We haven't done the Gold Glove thing yet, but I don't watch a lot of left field play. I thought Happ had again. I thought he had a good year defensively, but
left field's the easiest position.
But to be in line, what would this be? His fourth straight Gold Glove?
Fourth in a row, yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of crazy.
That's impressive, yeah.
In the postseason, he batted 100.
Wait a second. He batted 100 even. What was that? 3 for 30 or something?
Yeah, 3 for 30.
No, I don't mean to laugh. I actually almost want to apologize, but I just I didn't realize it was that low. I thought it was maybe like $1 and some change, but not $1 even.
He did have his biggest moment as a Cub, that home run ball in Game 4 against the Brewers, but that was one of his 3 base hits in the postseason. And, you just look at it month by month. I mean, great month of September. Great, very good month of August. Always finishes the year strong. Horrendous month of July. Just bet 179. Not very good in June. Not very good in May. You know what I mean? So it's just a very up and down player that,
yeah.
At one point, I believe you called an all-time Cub great, which I just still.
Well, so you know what? And that reminds me, I forgot to write this on my offseason sheet. We were starting to brainstorm last winter. I think we should do it between now and the new year.
The top 20 Cubs.
Top 25 of the last 25 years.
Yeah, he's not on that list.
He'd be 20. I think it'd be like 25th. Maybe 24th. He's not one of the greatest Cubs of all time. Whoever said that that's it's a bad game of telephone. I just think in the last 25 years, he has a case for maybe the last spot.
Okay.
But just because he's been long tenured doesn't mean he's one of the best Cubs ever.
Would you say he's a better Cub overall than Ben Zobrist?
No.
Okay. So like Zobrist, Baez.
Zobrist would be higher on that list.
Rizzo, Bryant, Hendricks,
Rizzo
Lester,
Bryant,
Arrieta,
those guys are on the
Sosa, Lee, Ramirez, Wood.
You're listing names that would never be in competition with Happ. Never.
So you're telling me Happ
wouldn't be in competition with them? Excuse me.
But you're telling me that there's not 20 names out there.
I need to put pen to paper.
Yeah, you might be right.
But if he's not 25th, then he maybe he's 30th or 31st.
Sosa's on that list ahead of him. Just for those few years.
Why would you? Did you really just bring up Jake Arrieta?
Well, I'm just in my head.
Of course, he's better than Ian Happ.
No, but there's just so many names that come to mind before I would go to Happ.
Well, you listed about 7 names.
Is that all I listened? Listen.
I think so.
Chapman would be ahead of him.
No shot. He was here a half a year.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe you're right.
Okay.
I'd put Fowler ahead of him.
No shot, man.
Yeah, I'd put Fowler ahead of Happ.
And he was here for 2 years.
He won a World Series championship. He led off in center field. You go, we go.
So he's one of the best. Dexter Fowler's one of the greatest Cubs of the last quarter century.
I would just put him ahead of Happ.
All right. Right after this, we're going to take a look at...
What's the grades?
Well, no, we're going to do grades.
Okay.
After this, okay?
Yeah.
Or should we do them now?
It's up to you.
Here's what I got, okay? Because you talk about Ian Happ being up and down.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 39-game stretch from June 7th to July 25th. He hit 170.
Yeah.
But then his last 38 games, he hit 297 with a 399 on base, OPS of almost 1,000. And Sam, is it just me, or he does that 170 stretch, but then there's the stretch like I'm talking about to end the year where Marquee will put up a graphic on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll backdate it to whatever date, and they'll go best OPS since.
Right.
And it's 1 Judge, 2 Ohtani, 3 Happ. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And that happens twice every year.
Mm-hmm.
And yet this guy gets so much vitriol would be a strong word. But the navigation of this dude's career, it is up and down in the commentary because of how up and down he is.
I'd give Happ a C for this season.
Okay, well, I would give him a B minus.
Okay,
B minus, and this could be his last season with the Cubs. We explain next.
This episode is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees, it takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. I've used Game Time for every Cub game that I've been to. It's the best. You get tickets right away. You could literally wait up to first pitch. The prices go down. Fees are included. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDOMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today.
Shout out to the everydayers. You can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week, which is 5 days per week, all off-season long. The Cubs could really increase their flexibility this offseason if Ian Happ is willing to waive that no-trade clause of his. You remember in the opening days of the 2023 season, Ian Happ agreed to a contract extension that goes through 26, but it also had a full no-trade clause for some reason. And he'll make $19 million in 26 after making 21 in 25 and 24. It's a little bit of a pay decrease there. And Sam, I have to wonder if an interdivision trade would be the best route here. The Cubs would have leverage with Happ's no trade clause, just him individually have some leverage. But I have to wonder if the Reds and Pirates could be fits for him. He went to the University of Cincinnati. He grew up in Pittsburgh. I'm going to give you his numbers at Great American Ballpark in a minute or two. But as the storylines about Kyle Tucker continue, you wonder about a possible right field DH rotation between Seiya, Ballesteros, Owen Casey. But if you want to dream of a Kyle Schwarber, dream of a Pete Alonso, then someone has to go. And they, to keep the right-handed slug, Sam, with Seiya, I think Happ would ideally be the one to depart. He's built up a lot of equity here with his coffee company, his podcast. He's beloved by the bleacher creatures and left. But this is a business, and if Jed Hoyer can show up on David Ross's doorstep on a Monday morning and release him, he sure could trade Ian Happ. But the problem is that Happ has a no-trade clause. And there's been reporting locally that the Cubs have gone to him before. In fact, they went to him even before. I mean, they almost traded him before the extension. In the opening days of us taking over the show, he was almost traded. At least there was rumors about him going. And after the extension, they have gone to him a couple times, including prior to the 24 deadline. I know that. But Sam, if they want to increase their flexibility, Ian Happ will not be a Cub in 26.
Sorry, I got something in my eye. Look, always a fan of your work on this show, and you
think this is a big reach, huh?
I have so much respect for you. Forget our friendship, just professionally, so much respect. I think there's a bigger chance of Kyle Tucker being a Cub next year than Ian Happ not being a Cub. I would be shocked if he waived his no trade. I think he likes it here. He has all the leverage, all the power. I would be shocked. Would it be good for the Cubs? Yes. But I would be surprised. Now, to your point, what's the case? The case is he's going into a walk year and he wants to get paid. And he ain't going to get paid with another full year of Wrigley Field's winds blowing in. So the way he goes and gets paid, well, where does he hit the ball the best? Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. So that's the case. So I respect that part of it. But first of all, if he were to waive it, would the Cubs want to trade I'm not going to use the word beloved, but a tenured guy to a division rival, especially Cincinnati. That's going to be a team you are going to be competing with, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's a good team. They made the playoffs.
In the postseason. You want to make that deal? I doubt it. Would just be very surprised. I have Ian Happ locked in to left field for the Cubs next year. I wonder if he's one of the guys Jed is talking about potentially extending in the offseason.
No
I feel like that's probably more likely than the latter. I don't see Ian Happ, who really likes Wrigley Field. I don't see him waiving his no trade. I just don't.
Yeah, I think Ian Happ's going to be a Red, and I think the Cubs will get a younger pitcher back for him.
Who would they get for him?
Well, they could get a younger pitcher back for him, maybe a starter, maybe a reliever with some control.
And you think the Reds pay his full $19 million?
I do. They do that because they were a playoff team in 25. They want to take the next step in 26 before the sport hits the ceiling. They have a lot of young talent around there. They can insert a veteran presence like Happ every day in left field, every day hitting leadoff or fifth or wherever they're going to hit him. And he could, he's like Barry Bonds there. Slash line career, 291, 393, 619, 18 long balls in 63 games at the Great American Ballpark. And
the Cubs are just going to facilitate that. Hey, go to Cincy, hit first.
Well, if you want to sign Kyle Schwarber, you will. If you want to sign Pete Alonso, you will. If you want to sign Alex Bregman, you will. Yeah.
Well, Alex Bregman apparently wanted to come to the Cubs last year. And,
correct. How are you going to make this team better? One of the routes would be trading Ian Happ.
Absolutely. But he has all the say. And
he's not going to Pittsburgh.
And if
no one wants to go there.
If his only say is Cincinnati, I don't feel comfortable doing it. Now, if he comes out and says, hey, I'd love to go play a year in New York or, with the Yankees or Boston or
Are you
Texas,
scared of him in the division?
I don't want to make Cincinnati's problem is their offense is not good.
Right.
Ian Happ is fantastic in Cincinnati. I don't want to do that.
Wow.
Now, I would do that if it meant absolutely nailed on. We get one of those guys, but I don't think Happ would waive. That'd be a really surprising decision for him. I just get the vibe that he wants to be a Cub as long as he can.
Well, we still have a full say episode to go.
That one is more likely.
So you wouldn't necessarily put. So you're putting Happ's name in pen pretty much, right? For 26 or just about?
Just about, yeah.
And Seiya would be in pencil then?
Because I think Seiya is more likely to waive his no trade to a team that would make more sense for the Cubs. That's my gut. I personally don't think either guy's going. I don't see. I just don't. From what I heard,
I'm starting to turn a corner on Seiya. I don't think I want to see him go.
I think they are going to keep this group.
So they're going to keep the band together.
Yeah, and then see what happens with Tucker and then adjust from there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if Happ were to waive it from Happ's perspective, you make a great point that why not go to a place where you know you're going to hit because he's in a walk year.
Do you think Craig Counsell should bat Happ leadoff to begin the 26 campaign then if he remains here?
No.
Will Bush have that job?
Yeah, Bush probably. Wow, that's
moving.
Yeah, that's far away. Maybe it'll be, somebody else. Maybe it'll be Schwarber.
That's crazy.
That'd
be really cool, man. Really cool. All right. Also, Sam's favorite stat, WAR. Happ was a top 100 player in baseball last year. 2.8 wins above replacement, ranked 76th in baseball.
Wonderful. The 76th best player in baseball is a no trade clause.
Coming up next, we have a lot of news and notes. Gold Glove finalists, a couple, one surgery, one guy rehabbing from surgery, and the Brewers got swept. Stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Folks, I gave out a couple plays this weekend. I had Cincy covered. The Jets and Justin Fields were abysmal. That was a loss. Cleveland covered. So 2-1 on this football weekend. I'd like to close it out by dropping Detroit -5.5 on Monday Night Football. And the beloved with 4 wins in a row for the first time since 1990. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs.
It's a fake stat, folks.
On your preferred audio platform or YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we've got for you. All right, Gold Glove finalists, Matthew Boyd, Carson Kelly, Nico Horner, Matt Shaw, Ian Happ, and Pete Crow-Armstrong, Dansby Swanson. After receiving votes last year and winning it in 23, not a finalist. And PCA will win that, I think. Boyd should win it. Horner should win it. Happ has to beat Tommy Pham and Kyle Stowers. If Happ does win, it would be his 4th Gold Glove in a row. I think Shaw would be an upset win, and Kelly would be an upset win as well. Sam, thoughts on the Gold Gloves?
Who's the catcher candidates again?
It's Carson Kelly, Patrick Bailey, and Luis Torrens, former Cub.
And who's the favorite in that? Bailey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shaw would have to beat Cabrian Hayes.
No, that's Hayes is a lock. I really am not fully understood on why Swanson isn't in it. I guess they just do the numbers now, the OAA and the DRS and all that good stuff. For me, by eye test, I think Dansby Swanson's as good as anybody in baseball, and I find it almost insulting that he's not one of the finalists. I really do.
It's appalling.
Yeah. Is Boyd a finalist because of pickoffs? Does that play a part in the Gold Glove?
It must, right? Because he dots.
Yeah, I mean, pitcher Gold Gloves are always tricky, but I just don't ever recall myself just going, man, Boyd's just phenomenal at fielding his position. That never registered in my head this year, but maybe I'm missing that. Yeah, I think Pete's going to win it. I'll say this with Pete. As great as he is defensively, they've got to do a better job communicating out there. They had too many balls drop between guys because guys were afraid he was going to get it. I think that's his last step to being
been like that for a couple of years.
Yeah, because he's a victim of his own success. Guys just think he's going to go after everything. So I think that's where spring training, maybe every day about 7, 8 a.m. Arizona time, Happ and whoever's playing right field, they come out and they just get balls hit to them in the gap and just work on how they're going to communicate that.
Right. So you're saying that, and when would that begin? January, you think they would?
Whenever spring training starts. Yeah, February.
Yeah, usually that's February.
Horner should win it.
Yeah. So Sam, I was just confirming it. Yeah, Xavier Edwards. I think that would be an upset win at second, but the Horner Terang battle is really curious. I do wonder if Terang wins it over him.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what Terang didn't do much of is hit in the postseason.
Right. And
like to pull up his numbers.
Go ahead.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, the Brewers, well, anyway. Yeah, so I'm hopeful about Nico, Sam. By the way, he would be the guy they should.
Terang went 4 for 35. He batted 114 in the postseason.
A Horner extension would be towards the top of my priority list if I was running the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely reactionary off the last year, but I think you want to keep a guy like that. What does that look like? Like 4 for 75?
Yeah, I was even thinking like 5 for 90.
Wow. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Kevin Alcantara underwent surgery last week for a hernia. Alcantara had a solid year at AAA, but never was able to get it going in a bench role for the Cubs. He could be a trade chip this offseason or a bench option in the outfield to begin the 26th season. Justin Steele told Marquee his rehab has been, quote, pretty flawless. And The Athletic did report recently that Steele would start playing catch this month. maybe as soon as this weekend, as we're recording. Nice for the Cubs to know they could plan for Steele to be ready for much of 26, if not all of it. Though, in my opinion, that shouldn't impact their pursuit of a top of the rotation guy this offseason. Curious your thoughts as that as well, but
Yes,
but good updates there.
100%. I think next year when you're starting to roll in August, it should be Steele, it should be Cade, it should be Boyd, it should be Tyone if everybody's healthy, and then depending on what they do with Shota, hopefully another monster. But maybe it's Jackson Wiggins. I don't know.
Well, if everyone's healthy going into September next year, Sam, please do a 6-man rotation.
Right.
So we could just go all out in the playoffs.
Have you heard any leans yet on Imanaga and the Cubs? I mean, I'm fascinated by that decision.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, that one, like isn't that one that if it was a lock, it would already be like Bruce or somebody saying expect the Cubs to pick up Shota's option already?
Probably dropping some hints, yeah.
Yeah, there hasn't been one.
There hasn't.
So,
and finally, the Los Angeles Dodgers are returning to the World Series as they attempt to become the first back-to-back champion since the 99 and 2000 Yankees. First NL team to repeat since, I believe, the Big Red Machine. And I'd have to double-check that. But
is it fair to say that they're trying to be the first back-to-back World Series champion since the Clinton administration?
That is true. Yeah.
Right. Because
that's correct. Yes.
Well, I guess technically when they won in 2000, Bush was probably already in office, right? Or no, with the 2000 election would be after that.
Right. Just after.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was right. Yeah.
And the Dodgers beat the Brewers, who 6 days after eliminating the Cubs got eliminated themselves. Sam, your thoughts on that series as the Dodgers made the Brewers look like a junior varsity team? Go ahead.
I think the Brewers lost a lot of credibility in my eyes. I expected them to compete at a high level in that series. I expected the Dodgers to win, but I expected the Brewers to compete. I don't know if it makes me feel better or worse about the Cubs situation. I guess better in the case of I'm just kind of fatigued of the Cubs Brewers stuff. And it's like, congrats, you literally you went one round further, but you didn't even win a game. And you look up and it's like, okay, well, we got to face the Dodgers. You know what I mean? We got to face the Dodgers, and that seems like the place to get better at, and it's just going to be tough.
Yeah, like who's going to finish second to them?
Yeah, it felt like that. Feels like that right now.
Well, but that could be further reasons for my Final Four take.
Yeah, but you don't want to. No, I hear you.
You don't want to settle, but
I hear you. You
know,
I mean, the way the Dodgers are
practical.
The way the Dodgers are pitching right now, it's
it's crazy.
It's tough to compete against.
All right. Well, we will continue to do our review series this week and next, and then the following week would be a lot of the hot stove starting. Free agency and trades do open up 5 days after the World Series ends, so that'd be around that time anyway. And look forward to the next couple of weeks. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Bears got a big win as well, Sam.
Huge.
He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Go Cubs.